There we go. Look, it's a Rose. Rose is kind of weird because she has a kind of semi-Vism in her A-ism. But I think her actual V-ism is better. Because it's got the invincibility period on startup and it's got a little bit more combo freedom. More spammability. Leads to crouch cancel infinites maybe. I don't know if Rose has a crouch cancel infinite. I know that Gen is one of two characters who's conventionally considered to be best in A-ism rather than V-ism. He's got some neat stuff. One of the main things about him is that he confirms the super really easily. And one of the other main things about him is that his V-ism combos are super, super weird and unnatural. Largely because of, ooh, fuck that up. These alpha counters. Gen's got like no guard gauge. Wow! You shouldn't be able to kill with an alpha counter, that's kind of shit. The alpha counters should not be able to kill, there I said it. That's air throw. Air throws were a universal mechanic in Alpha 3. Oh, that's nice. That's a good confirm. Alright, let's see about crouch cancel infinites. That sure has the look of a crouch cancel infinite. Rose can do one off a neutral jump, huh? Most characters can't. Most characters have to do repeated diagonal jumps. V-ism is generally best, and this is one of the main reasons. Oh, he dropped it. He tried to speed things up by using meter. You get to a point pretty quickly with the crouch cancel infinite where you're only doing one tick of damage. Ooh, crouch fear sucked. Gan has really nice chains. His target combos in Street Fighter 4 references unusual chaining powers in this game. He's got something kind of semi-Darkstalkers going on. Sup, nerd? Nerd is my favorite insult. Nice. That has some invincibility. It actually didn't hit. You can air block if you pick Z or V-ism, A or V-ism, but he couldn't take chip damage there. But he still managed to bring it back. It takes 50% of your gauge in V-ism to alpha counter, compared to only a third of your gauge in A-ism. That's kind of a big deal for some characters who like V-reversals, namely Dhalsim. Dhalsim has a really good neutral and doesn't need meter that much. So the ability to use lots of alpha counters is very useful, which is one of the reasons Dhalsim often runs A-ism. Dhalsim's top tier in this game, but he sees almost no play. Kind of an unusual thing. It's very rare a character is good and then not played. But I guess people don't really touch Dhalsim unless they're kind of like Dhalsim players. The way that super works in this game is you get like a countdown, but the countdown is cancelled if you hit Gen. It's kind of like Funk's Poison. Everyone has the aura face. I don't. It's a Franker faces emote. Nice. That low strong is still a good button, but it's not as dumb as it was in Alpha 2, where it would literally beat everything. Sodom is also a top tier. This character needs to come back. He's pretty cool. He's kind of pokey, but he also has a command grab, but it's not like a normal command grab. He's got two command grabs. One of them has really big range, but kind of poor startup. Think like the light version of Birdie's grab, jump grab, right around there. And then his other one is like a hit grab. Wow, what is he? That was the hit grab, I think. I don't know what that was. It looked weird. The hit grab does a fucking insane amount of damage, and you can cancel into it. That move is pretty good. It's like a weird. It's a special move, but he can only do it as a reversal. He can't do it like in neutral. Or he can do it in neutral, but it's different. Sudden is a weird character. That slide! It looks like he doesn't get that low to the ground, but it's actually the lowest low profile in the whole game. His sweep. There are a lot of little neat things about this character. I really like his struggles. Good old crouch cancel infinites. These are harder than they look. It's not as easy as just jumping over and over. You see how he tech flipped out? That's because Rose had a neutral frame. You have to never ever go neutral in order to do crouch cancel infinites. You can also only do them after a V-ism combo. There's also absolutely no way to set them up such that they're guaranteed. The opponent always has at least one frame to tech flip out, but one frame is not very much, is it? The game detects that the opponent can tech flip out of like a VSM juggle by when they go neutral once VSM isn't active, and you can bypass ever going neutral by doing repeated crouches, like jump crouch, jump crouch, jump crouch. You need to be very precise with it. If you do that over and over, you can get like an infinite in the corner after VSM combos with some characters. There was a patch for this game that actually removed crouch cancel infinites, I think on the console versions, the early console versions. Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. And removing the crouch cancel infinites actually further unbalanced the game. Proving once again that Capcom has no idea what they're doing. Oh, he went for the double sweep, but it was too far. That's really weird. The first sweep hit, but then the second sweep was out of range. The first sweep was blocked, and the second one was out of range. Again, must recoil backwards when he gets got broken. If you've never seen Alpha before, one of the weirdest things about Alpha that's true pretty much for the whole cast is that everything is really fucking safe. Yeah, like the thing is about crouch cancel infinites, a lot of the top tier don't have them, and a lot of the bottom tier do have them. That being said, even if crouch cancel infinites further balance the game, a lot of people just kind of hate them, so they waste a whole lot of time. No, infinites aren't that big of a deal in this game. The characters who do better in footsies are actually better. The thing is, the infinite can only be landed off of a successful VSM, like custom combo. And those, you know, they're not super rare. But the top tiers can already basically kill you off of a successful VSM combo. So they don't need the infinite to help them. Wow, again. Straight up unfortunate. Gen has 4 supers, which is, I think, the second most in the game. After Dane, who has 5 supers, 2 of which are joke supers. Gen can combo his supers into other supers, and he can also confirm them super easily. Anyway, I was saying, Alpha, like Street Fighter 5, pretty much everything is unsafe. Have you guys noticed that? Like, having a safe special move in Street Fighter 5 is a really big deal. They made fireballs unsafe up close for, like, all but 3 fireballs. Whoa, a sub. Thank you. And like having a safe special move, they're almost always -2. And even when they're not -2, like just like there aren't that many safe special moves at all. Most characters like don't have one. In this game, like it's rare that a move is unsafe. And that's true for like normals that you would normally see as unsafe too. Like slides, it's really easy to space a slide to be safe. Right as I say that, Rose does an unsafe one. That's kind of a bad example. It's very easy to space Rolentos or Guy's slide to be safe. I don't think Sodom's S tier. I think he's A. If you just looked it up, then there you go. I usually hear the tiers of this game to be like absolute top Akuma, Dhalsim and Chun-Li. And then Sodom and Zangief to be somewhere around below that, but still very high. This is not actually a crouch cancel infinite, I think. Maybe it is. It looks like she's maintaining height. That one looks really hard. It looks like she's losing height. That was the move done in neutral. The move that he can only do as a reversal. He can't do the walk with it in neutral. It's only a counter poke. It's literally a counter poke special move. That's the command grab. He hops forward, then he grabs you. It's unblockable. So the thing about custom combos and command grabs is that if you're in custom combo mode and the opponent is knocked over, then a custom combo command grab will actually pick them up off the ground. Which gives grapplers extremely unusual custom combos, but also means they're not left behind with custom combos. Is Chun that low? I might be out of date. People say that about Ryu. Just copy and paste them. I think Rose is supposed to be like low mid. She might be like high. I don't think so. Pretty sure she's like low mid. I know both Guy and Gen are pretty good. I think they're high. Cody might be high. He might be mid. I don't remember. That's the hit grab. See how I just killed her? That move does a lot of damage. V Soccer, I forgot about her. Soccer is really good. You don't see that much claw either. Green is good. Zangief Sagat. Yeah, I forgot. I didn't know Chun-Li was that low. Lower than Cammy, what the fuck? I think these are just not the tiers I used to see. Because Cammy used to be lower. Things must have changed. Junie last? What the fuck? Junie's like Cammy but better. Junie's not as good in neutral because she's got like charge moves instead of roll moves. But nice, good counter activation. Junie has a lot better Vism stuff. And also Junie has a command grab and better special moves in general. Yeah, a lot of mechanics were taken from this game to make Street Fighter V. It's basically like a mishmash of Street Fighter 3, this game, and Street Fighter 4. They took the best stuff from all three. V reversals are just alpha counters in this game, and they took the guard bar. And I think there's something else somewhere too. Custom combos are almost impossible to balance, and games where custom combos exist are almost never balanced. This is a reasonably good attempt to make a balanced custom combo game. The only game I've ever played with good balance and custom combos was KOF 13. Ooh. No one tell me CVS2 has good balance. CVS2 has okay balance, but it doesn't have good balance for a groove. If A groove was the only groove, things would be ugly. That was odd. So I failed drill. It's not even the same button. Counter hits are very reactable in this game, especially if you get a counter hit with a hard normal. It'll actually freeze the screen and make it very easy to react. It'll also launch the opponent, I think. I think all counter hits with hard normals launch. Yes, different characters have different lengths guard bar. Also, Vism has very short guard bars, which is one of its weaknesses. I think the general groove tier list is A, C, K, N, and then P and S. I could be a little wrong. I know that A, C, and K are like appreciably better than the other three, and N is okay. And then S and P have some pretty serious weaknesses. I think there was a rebalance, like the console versions, where P was like, it might have been Easy Operation, where they like buffed P and then it was like the best one. Ow, accidental reset. That did a lot of damage. See that red flashing? If you hit a button, the frame where you take damage, the damage is reduced. Fun fact. Ooh. Confirming is kind of hard in this game, and the special canceling hierarchy is you can cancel normals into specials or normals into super, but you can't cancel normals. You can't cancel specials into super, so it's kind of like ST in that regard. And not having that kind of canceling hierarchy means you don't really see combos a whole lot. Confirming is kind of difficult because there aren't a whole lot of avenues of hit confirming. It's difficult to get, like, some characters can get multiple lights in a row at least, but there aren't many links besides, like, those. And there aren't many of those. Like, Sakura can get, like, jab, jab, short, but, like, most characters can't do that. And Sakura can combo out of a max range, stand short. Nice. Activation has some invincibility. The more meter you have, the more invincibility it has. He had full meter, so that's the most invincibility he could possibly have. You don't see Ken very often in this game. I think he's the worst Shoto, but only barely. Not counting Dan. Ken's damage is really fucking high, but his footsies aren't as good as Ryu Akuma. But Ken's damage is like really high. I played ranked 3 times, and in those 3 times I made it to Super Silver, and then I decided to never play ranked again. Parry is a lot different than Street Fighter 3, but more importantly than that, the super system of P-Groove is kind of shitty. And parry kind of hurts sometimes. Like, A-Groove and C-Groove can just air block. But P-Groove doesn't have air block, so you have to air parry instead. That's a good air Tatsu. K-Groove has just defense, which are like parries, but less rewarding and less risky. And most people who want to parry just pick K-Groove. P-Groove's super bar is also pretty shit. Zangief. This is actually a match of top tiers. Everyone loves grapplers, right? Zangief was thought to be bottom tier for the first year this game was out, and then discoveries were made that pretty much put him at top tier instead. One of them is Katobi canceling, one of them is command grabs in V-trigger combos, and people just got better at his footsies. He's got good normals. The things he's good at are good in this game. I love this fucking Zangief sprite. This is the one I grew up with from Marvel 1. Zangief's buttons are super good. People kind of thought that Zangief would be bad because he'd been bad. When this game was made, Zangief had been bad in every other game he'd ever been in. Did I say V-trigger? V-ism. Custom combo. What do they call it? What's the official name for it? I forget. It's not custom combo. But people often call it custom combo, or CC. It has another name. The style itself is V-ism. That's the Katobi cancel. Alright, so that move is super interesting. Let me see it again. So it's that move right there. You see it? See how Zangief hopped with his head out? Let's watch it one more time just for fucking... There, that move. This move right here. That's Zangief's towards Fierce, I think. That move, he hops and moves forward. If you cancel it into... he tried it a few times before actually getting it. If you Kara that move into his activation, then it will give you a V-trigger activation with ridiculous forward momentum. So he'll shoot across the screen at 100 miles an hour. You just do towards Fierce and you Kara V-trigger activation. V-ism activation. Fuck, I keep on saying that. And not only that, but depending on your meter, you have invincibility when you activate. So since Zangief's at 100%, he's invincible until pretty much after he hits you with an attack. Okay? This is probably one of the most busted setups in the entire game, and only a few characters can do it, and Zangief has generously the best one. Zangief has an instant, like, full-screen invincible attack. And it's not even an attack, it's he just instantly is invincible and next to you. It was air blocked, so it wasn't that bad right then. But it's an absolutely stupid duel. It's one of the most hilarious, like glitches. This is back when Kara throws were like a relatively new concept. Cars had already been around by this game, but like no one had considered like cars like that for the most part. The other Katabi cancels are literally bugged, which is why I know the Zangief's is. The other Katabi cancels just leave you floating, but Zangief's actually lands. Ooh. Sodom has nice hitboxes on this move. He's got like a first Rekka, but it doesn't cancel into more Rekkas. That thing. There's a few different versions of it. They're pretty much all safe and they have nice hitboxes. That's the command grab. It's pretty slow, you've got to sneak it in. It's not like Zangief command grabs where he can just grab you instantly. But it's fast enough that you can't really react to it. It's just like... It's fast enough that you can't react to it, but it's not so fast that it'll like beat attacks. If the opponent's hitting buttons, they'll knock you out of it. That's a guard break. The only way you can get out of it is alpha canceling. But alpha canceling surrenders one of your guard bars anyway, so it's not really any better. Zangief Crouch Face is still pretty good in this game. Nice lariat. Amusing. I think we should have 3 third strike characters to make up for the fact that there were only 3 third strike characters in the initial release. My personal nominations go to Oro 3 times. I guess the one that I would say is probably the best idea is probably Makoto and Oro, and I'm gonna have to say the last one should probably be either like Dudley or Necro. I want Necro because he'd come back, like I want him to come back, but Dudley is a character that more people would appreciate. They were smart when they made Street Fighter 4 and they picked Ibuki, Makoto, and Dudley as the first 3 representatives of Third Strike because they were good choices. They should worry about Dame when they've already got characters that people want. Dame should be like in the 5th update, not the fucking 2nd. Necro is stretchy, but he's also rushed down. He's like a weird thing. Necro is weird. Oh yeah, Q. I take back Necro and replace it with Q. Makoto and Q is the way to go. For every one person who thinks Dan would be cool, there's a million people who would be mad at Dan. Junie. This is the character who DiCaprio was replacing. The character they were going to bring back had to be pretty much a doll because budget. So, or like the 5th character for Ultra. The character they wanted to do was Junie, because she's kind of cool. But they also wanted to not be constrained by... They wanted to make her different from Junie in this game. And they wanted to not disappoint people who liked Junie in this game. So they decided not to use Junie. They decided to use DiCaprio instead, even though they ended up giving DiCaprio most of Junie's moveset. But then they kind of changed some of DiCaprio's moves before release, so now they're pretty different. Junie is a doll with moves kind of similar to Cammy, but charge. That's a flash kick. That's an air spiral arrow. She has ground spiral arrow too. DiCaprio actually did as well, but lost it. Ginny has a really nice Vism combos. I would like Azam. I want a new character, and Azam is fine. That being said, Azam is a grappler, and how many grapplers do we need? I think they should rebalance the game such that there's a greater gameplay variety in the tournament winning kinds of characters. Since the only three turtle kind of characters besides Dhalsim are all like very strong. I shouldn't say turtle because none of them are really turtly. No one's really turtly in Street Fighter V. But I would call Chun-Li, Nash, and Ryu like 3 of maybe 5 defensive characters in the whole game. Capcom said Azam was a grappler. I forget when exactly, but I've heard them say that. I think it was in one of the little blogs that they wrote up on their site there. What if they release Azam and it's just Darren? Guile and Dhalsim are the other 2 defensive characters. You could argue that Vega's kind of defensive too, but it's a different kind of defensive. You could also say that Birdie's defensive, I guess. I would call Birdie defensive, even though he has a command grab. Wow. Interesting. I would like Ed. If they add a new character from the plot, then I think Ed would be my favorite. I would also like Faye a lot. Faye's in the 6 characters I want. There was a Reddit thread about that, and I posted my votes. I said, I forget who I said exactly. I think I listed Elena. No shame. I want Oro. I want, Adon and Faye. I like Faye and I like Adon. Vega alienated all the people who were Vega players, while also not adding anything to make new Vega players. Kenny seems kind of godlike. DiCapri's fine, but I definitely don't feel like they should add DiCapri just because her model exists. Because she's not even the most complete of the dolls. She's not even the second most complete of the dolls. She's missing some special moves too. She doesn't have rapid daggers. I don't remember. I think she does have her air throw. DD. Which DD? Doctrine Dark? There are a lot of DDs. That's like the worst list I've ever seen. Nice. Ooh. And then the killer bee. Damn it. It's not the killer bee, what is it? The air throw. What's the air throw follow up to her hooligan combination? Damn, that combo was pretty nice. Good rolling. He got a good hit confirmed from a very short combo. I think both of these two have one frame link low strong into low strong. Having a link at all in this game is a little unusual. These two are real similar. Oh, that's that little teleport. DiCapri ended up getting that. DiCapri ended up having that. That's basically Yang's teleport, but DiCapri had it fleshed out into like a full, well-designed special move instead of being a weird little thing. Movement thing. Fun fact, neither of these characters' crouch medium kicks will cancel. I think the first game that had cancelable crouch medium kick from Cammy was probably Street Fighter 4, right? It was frequently discussed, but I think it never made it past the... A lot of people, when they played Cammy, they were like, oh man, if Cammy had, No, she must have had it in, like, CBS2 or something. Or, like, Marvel. A lot of people, when they discussed Cammy, they were like, a cancelable crouch medium kick would fix this character. No, I'm not trying to play any tonight. Ginny is neat. These two are possibly lesbians, possibly with each other. I'm just saying. Cammy was a classic low tier. Super was like her first time in the light. I don't think Super was her first. She's considered to be like quite a strong character in K-Groove. I don't think she's ever really considered to be like a top tier or anything in CBS2. But she's considered to be one of the better K-Groove characters. But Cammy, prior to Street Fighter 4, was like a low tier in every game she was in. I think she was very low in all the Marvel games she was in. She was pretty much the bottom one in Street Fighter 2. She was, I think she's okay in Alpha. She was thought to be really low, but I think, especially from that recent tier list, it looks like people kind of thought she went up. These combos are cool. I'm down with King. The King we got for Cross Tekken was extremely cool. Junie can literally turn this around with one activation. He needs it like now. That was not it. Oh, that might have been it. He fucked it up. If you're in custom combo mode, you actually don't need to charge. You just need to tap directions. Down, up, kick. He had to juggle into flash kick there, and he didn't do it. Oh, his air attack missed. Did I mention that in this game every character has an air throw? Some characters have two. I think every character has two ground throws too. Sedum is extremely strange in that his two ground throws literally exactly the same animation. But they actually have a difference. One of them does absolutely garbage damage, but I think enables a combo afterwards. Being able to combo out of a throw is pretty cool. Bonk. Throw techs in this game work like Street Fighter 2. It's 2-button throws, but if you break a throw, you just tech the throw, so it still does damage, but not as much damage. Hashtag dropped. Kemi's one of the only characters with like an invincible DP. Not very common in this game. It's usually like one version of like one specific version of a DP character's DP. Honda. Don't see this character very often. Sometimes I forget he's in the game. Kemi versus Honda was considered nigh unwinnable in Street Fighter 2. Don't know how it is in this game. Oh, Sky! The blue flashes are if you hit buttons during block stun, you take less chip, and I think less guard damage. I don't remember if it's hit buttons in block stun or what. Every Street Fighter 2 character was in this game except Guile, and then Guile was added to the home versions. The only reason Guile missed the boat is because Nash was in the game. Oh, the newcomers. The Super Street Fighter 2 characters had to wait for the home version too. There was no Fei Long or T-Hawk. Or DJ. But Kami made it. Kami was the only one who made it. And all the Shadowloo bosses are in this game. But Balrog is a secret character. I think Balrog wasn't a member of Shadowloo in this game's timeline, or he like barely was. He's like a new recruit. Doskoi. We need more Doskoi characters. Actually, all re-releases this game, Mono, added probably the most lenient inputs I've ever seen. It added, quote, turbo mode, which made it so if you hold down a button, you're hitting that button every frame, which meant that you automatically hit every 1 frame link. And it also means that you whiff light normals at the absolute fastest speed that you can whiff them. That was an instant air activation. You don't see that almost ever. I'm willing to bet that Honda's V-triggers are really awkward. Do I keep saying V-trigger? Did I say that again? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, dude. It just corrupted. I used to never make mistakes like that when they made Street Fighter 5. Anyway, V-ism combos are still difficult to time, I guess. And also I'm willing to bet the Hondas are awkward. I wonder what things don't exist where if someone made them, they would utterly ruin my ability to speak. That was a good cross-up, I guess. Honda has a command grab, which means he can end combos in his command grab. I'm pretty sure he can actually do he can do command grabs into command grabs in V-ism. Interesting combo. I think he could have tech flipped out of that. Most people run the custom combo ism for every single variation, for every single character. And that's mostly because custom combos are pretty good for everyone. But there are a lot of little things about the others that make them kind of annoying. Like X-ism can't air block, which is kind of a problem. That like inhibits your ability to play footsies a lot. You can't air block. They also have a really awkward super. You have just one really big bar, and granted it's as strong as a level 3 from a a-ism character. Sodom's personality is absolutely amazing. For those who aren't in the know, Sodom is an American obsessed with Japanese culture. And he fancies himself to become Japanese. This is his stage, which is subtly filled with stupid shit. And his armor has the character for death, like Shinu, written on it, but it's miswritten. It's supposed to be like a katakana he on the side, but he wrote like a different thing on the right, like it's not written correctly. Nah. I like how Kami salutes the fucking M. Bison in this game. That's one of her win poses. Shadowloo Kami. A lot of his win quotes reference stuff like that too. Like, one of his win quotes is, "Don't touch my mustache," I think. Which is a reference to the mnemonic "Don't touch my mustache," which is often used to help people remember the term "Doitajimashite," which is like, "You're welcome." He missed it. He missed the follow-up. There are a lot of in-jokes with Sodom swing quotes and, like, ending, stuff like that. Whiffing normals doesn't build meter in this game, and whiffing special moves doesn't build much meter. But if you whiff grabs, it builds a fuck ton of meter, and whiffing grabs takes almost no time at all. Oh man, that countdown! Oh man! You can whiff throws to make it... Oh, there it goes. You can whiff throws to slow it down, which also builds meter. Time doesn't tick while you're whiffing a throw. That's a pretty neat super. It was hard to maintain in later games. I like what they did with his Ultra 2 a lot. The Punch Ultra 2 in Street Fighter 4. It was difficult to make that super. And the super they made is kind of cool. With all the white health and a bit of stun. Kemi's tearing it up. That's probably an unsafe slide. Nice activate. Use the invincibility punish before she could land. And now he should have a kill if he does it right. Aw. That was it. Low strong, low strong. He did it again. That's a link. Yes, that was a crouch cancel infinite. About half the cast of this game has a crouch cancel infinite. Give or take. Can't seem to get the grab. The infinite is pretty hard for what it's worth. It's like harder than Aura's infinite. Or rather, you have a lot more opportunities to drop it. It's actually a lot easier than Aura's infinite. But you have to do it for a very fucking long time to kill someone. It's very easy to miss one of the crouches or to let them fall down too far. Oh, Sky. Can this really kill? It's gonna be close. Oh, that was a fuck up. He had the guaranteed kill there from the jump air throw. You can combo into air throws. That's pretty nice. He's almost stunned. Yeah, you can't block in that context. Either you block and you get opened up immediately, or you don't block and you get opened up immediately. That guard bar doing work. Oh, I think he thought that would guard break. That was a good juggle. I think he thought that would guard break. Kami's losing a lot of health trying to guard break. Yeah, he couldn't block that. Good counter activate. Holy shit. This Honda's a hero. He nearly died like fucking 3 times. And now he's almost got the guard break. Good uppercut. Damn, this is close. There it is. God, Honda spent like most of that match almost guard broken. No, he's saying Doskoe. Dosugoi. It's like a Japanese thing. A ki of some kind. Wow. Spiral arrow went under the headbutt. That was really strange. It's kind of hard following where the shadow is and what exactly is going on when you can hit buttons there. This Honda play is pretty good. Wow, comboed from the spiral arrow, but then dropped it. Nice memery. Sefric known memer. Honda has hands, but hands are kind of hard to do. I think he's just deliberately not going for the air throw in order to get the Oki. You get a guaranteed air throw there. GG. That might have been a punish. It's difficult to get a punish there. Nice, there's the guard break. And there's a pretty good combo. That's pretty optimized. Repeated DPs. I saw Kami pretty high up and I was just like, on that tier list, I was like, Kami must have changed. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I hope we see a Kami. I am not this Kami. I'm also very mediocre at Alpha. Guy is cool. He's got his Bushin chain and it's actually really good. Also, he's got fucking the most spammable sweep in the entire game. Also, he's got good normals and has a very easy time confirming supers. Also, his supers do good damage and lead to more supers. He's a pretty interesting character in general. That semi-name kick is a super good one. I remember before they buffed it in Super. It was mediocre. And then they like improved its hitbox in AE, I think. And then it became the best poke in the universe. I play Ryu in Alpha. Haters gonna hate. Sometimes I play Junie. Ryu has really, really piss easy custom combos, and he's also pretty good in A-ism. Run that clock. Guy has a really, really big jump, which is arguably kind of bad. He's got the elbow drop, which is nice. Guy's like normal jump in this game is like his hard flip from Street Fighter 4. The elbow drop is not good at hitting crouching opponents. Damn, this is level 3 version. See all that damage? I call that spook for itself. That was a good activate. This game is mid-screen. Not every character has a mid-screen. They weren't as careful about balancing it as like SNK was with KO13, for example, where they made sure every character has some kind of meterless loop. Except Maxima. This game has worse balance than... This game is a relic of its time. I think Alpha 3 came out in like 99. Right around there. But Alpha before that was like a mid-90s series. And balance has been steadily getting better in Capcom games the later the game was released. This game's balance isn't as good as Third Strike, which came out around the same time. Third Strike had a smaller roster though, which helped it. There are a lot of characters in this game that are straight up just unusable. For example, Mika. I think Mika's actually usually considered to be one of the worst characters in the game. Get tossed. SF game with the worst balance. That's a difficult question to answer. I want to say it would just be one of the hella old ones. It'd be like Championship Edition or something. Alright, it's probably Marvel 2, because that game has the biggest roster. A big roster would help a game be unbalanced. The bigger the roster, the greater the gap between the best and worst character on average. The greater room for variance in tier. And also Marvel 2 had really garbage balance because they tried really hard to just put in a bunch of characters from different games and didn't really do anything to make sure they were balanced. They didn't do anything to make sure that like Zangief's grappling abilities were maintained in Marvel. I guess I selectively included all Capcom games. It might be one of the... I've heard people say EX3 has poor balance, but I've never played it. Roll, Amingo, I think Thanos is supposed to be kind of shit. Sirbot. There are a lot of garbage characters in Marvel 2. Most of the Darkstalkers characters. There it is. He ended. All of the EXs have Skullomania. I don't even know why everyone's in love with Skullomania. He's okay. Darkstalkers is dead. As soon as I get hired by Capcom, I'll tell them my Darkstalkers idea, and then we'll get a new one. I think Anacaris is supposed to be one of the least shit Darkstalkers characters, but I think he's still shit. If you don't think Skullomania is cool, you don't know anything about Skullomania. Because Skullomania is insanely cool. Who made Bloody Roar? What company is that? A new Red Earth. You're probably the one person who wants that. Hudson? Bomberman? Hudson made a fighting game? Red Earth had 8 extremely interesting characters, but it only had 8 characters, and only 4 of them were playable. And also they weren't really interesting. You could play as a ninja, you could play as a dude who looked more than a little bit like a lion, you could play as a witch, I don't remember the other playable character. And then there was like a squid guy, and there was like a big T-Rex. I don't remember. I remember I had level ups and fatalities. And perfect guard. I know it's like the only CPS3 game besides Street Fighter 3. Went through all the trouble of making this incredible fighting game engine and then didn't do anything with it. Holy shit, this game is doing work. I think Marvel... I don't remember what the fuck Marvel 2 was. I think it was its own thing. I don't know what the Marvel games... what engine they were. It could have been CPS 2, I don't think so. Boxer. People still play Marvel 2 on Dreamcast tournaments. Marvel 2 is always played on Dreamcast. It's pretty easy to hack a Dreamcast, jailbreak it, you know. And that allows people to do really cool things with Marvel 2, like add their own custom music or their own custom colors. Yes, you could consider Marvel 2 not even on a technicality. If you're looking at it from a balance perspective, it's one of the worst fighting games. But there's a lot more to a fighting game than balance, which is something that modern players often forget. People treat balance like synonymous with being good. He's a pretty good boxer. I have a Dreamcast that can be homebrew enabled. It's like one of the ones like made early enough that it can just use a boot disk without hard modding. But I've never actually done it. I got it on my birthday in like 1998 or something, 1999. It's still just chilling in my closet. I used to have it hooked up. I only have like 5 games for it. I have this game, Alpha 3. I have some baseball game that I got with the console. I have Rush 2049. I think I have Grandia 2 somewhere. I have Sonic Adventure. I had Sonic Shuffle, but I don't think I do anymore. I have Jet Grind Radio. Dreamcast had a pretty amazing selection of games. I have Phantasy Star Online episode, or not, Phantasy Star Online version 2. I like distinctly remember having a computer with 2 floppy disk drives, and we bought like a CD writer, and we plugged it in to that computer, and then we got like 8 CDRs, and I like wrote Dreamcast games to the CDRs and played them on the Dreamcast. I do not have CBS2. I have Skies of Arcadia though, or I had it. I don't have it anymore. I sold it because it was worth a lot of money. Skies of Arcadia is a pretty godlike game. Cutlass Fury, etc. I actually have a lot of nice things to say about the Dreamcast. Dreamcast had pretty much every one of my favorite games. I remember when I was like 16 and I would watch YouTube videos about people who were like 20, 24, 25. And now I'm the guy who's like 24 and the people who are like 16 are watching me. I feel like I've come full circle, but the full circle is extremely small. I've actually never owned Street Fighter 3 on Dreamcast, amusingly. You tech makes some anti-air jump-ins with RSB. No. Remember dial-up? I do. I remember the first time I went from dial-up to DSL. Shenmue was a pretty godlike game. My Third Strike copy is actually Anniversary Edition on PS2. That being said, I haven't actually played that on console in a very long time. Pretty much I didn't play it once I discovered 2DF was the thing. I remember getting download speeds of 10 kilobytes per second with dial-up, and then someone told me that broadband was 100 kilobytes per second, and it blew my fucking mind. Things are really weird, because, like, I've spent most of my life in the generation where, like, this is, like, the only 20 years where the internet has existed, but hasn't been, like... The internet has existed, but people don't yet fully rely on it. You know what I mean? That's like kind of a strange time to grow up. I'm not an expert, but that doesn't sound that good on paper. I don't know exactly the mechanics because I haven't tested it or seen it in action. But can't he get hit in the period it takes for him to jump or the startup of the air SPD? It sounds like you need to use EX. And even then it sounds like it wouldn't be great because you'd still have the jump to resolve, but it would still be okay. Because that's pretty fast. Damn it. When you're like, when your parents are expecting a call, but you want to use the internet. Trying to surf the internet on a fucking Windows Millennium Edition with a Pentium 3 running dial-up. How did we fucking manage? That's sorry, and or Sally in the background there. Balsam's wife. She looks pretty young. I don't know how old he's supposed to be. I usually see Dalsum as somewhere in like around like 60, 50 or 60. I know he has a 10-year-old son. And his wife looks kind of young too. Which both seem to indicate that either he got his dick wet real late or he's not as old as he looks. I don't know what web TV is. I've been convinced, Brutus. That sounds pretty good. But you can't do an area SPD like the frame you leave the ground, right? Doesn't have like a minimum height? Or does it? I guess it doesn't have a minimum height, does it? Born in 52, Street Fighter 2 takes place in the 90s. That would make him pretty young. He looks all old. But if he's only in his 40s, that's not that bad. Gen was dead by Street Fighter 4. They just retconned him back to life, and now there are no rules. When's there going to be a game where Data's playable? I wonder if Data can stretch. Gen is theoretically still alive in Street Fighter. No, I take that back. That was a Street Fighter 4 win quote. Yan has a win quote in Street Fighter 4 that references Gen being alive. But he doesn't have it in Street Fighter 3, I don't think. It's, if I don't get home soon, Gramps is gonna kill me. Which is pretty funny in my opinion. Nice punish. No, I did not see that. I know that it happened. And I know the Smash player had only been playing Street Fighter for like 2 months or something like that. But, I mean, I don't know. If you play fighting games already, that's going to help you a lot. Oro already got a voice actor and already showed up in the game story. I consider it extremely likely that he could sneak his way into Season 2. And by extremely likely, I mean like 80-90%. They also kind of said that they would choose characters by popularity, and then they had a poll where Oro came sixth place. Look, it's an Adon. Adon has an invincible uppercut. He also has pretty good normals. These are basically his only weapons. His custom combos are extremely awkward. We just saw one completed. It's a bit weird to see an Adon complete a custom combo. Or I was in Dulcim's character story. I have no realistic prediction, but I do have a dream roster. But I forget it exactly, so I need to find it. This game was Adon's debut. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was Alpha 2 that was Adon's debut. Technically speaking, Adon was in Street Fighter 1, but the Street Fighter 1 Adon is pretty much an entirely different character. Ooh. This is the game that introduced the Jaguar kick and the Rising Jaguar and whatnot. The overhead. Got the hit just in time. Gen's almost guard broken. This could turn around. It's looking more and more unlikely though. Now it's looking like it could really happen. I don't remember what happens if you air block and you get guard broken. Adon in X-System is actually extremely interesting. Probably the most interesting X-System character. Maybe Chun-Li. Adon's special move input for Jaguar Kick and X-System is literally kick if you're midair. Like, it's the simplest special move input in the entire Capcom fighting game series. Airborne kick. All turn into Jaguar Kicks. And depending on his 3 jump arcs, and depending on which of the 3 versions of the kick he hits, he can have a massive number of different angles and speeds. Which gives him some pretty interesting footsies. Actually really incredible footsies. Sefric Blanca will literally never make it in. Oh. Why don't you just wish for an actual rushdown mix-up character who's in the stupid gimmick? Why don't you just play Mika? That was an okay punish, I guess. Stand medium kick and uppercut. I think Stand Fierce doesn't cancel in this game, so stand medium kick's your go-to. You play every character as Rushdown, and you tell me you want to be a wall. You pick characters like Ryu and Nash and Chun-Li, you don't throw a single fireball. Okay, I'm not sure I've ever seen you play Chun-Li. Just play Guile. Your Guile's alright anyway. You didn't even play Blanca like a wall. That was a good block. That was like some quad tier setup. Baby ass punishes. Ugh. Got hit out of the way. That was really nice. Alright, crouch cancel infinite. Adon does not have a crouch cancel infinite. He can't keep the opponent midair long enough. That was pretty much guaranteed kill. He actually got out somehow. But he couldn't block there because he would just get chipped out. Akuma has insane chip. in V-ism combos. I think that in Street Fighter V, there are a lot of playstyles where if you want to have them, you can't. And I think that that's something they should address with Season 2 characters. Right now there's no Rekka character, that's pretty easy to address. They got a pretty nice little slew of Rekka characters to choose from at this point. You could have Fei Long, you could have Poison, you could have Rolento, you could have Yang even. They could even reimagine someone as a Rekka character. I would personally like Fei Long of those characters. They don't really have a true Pokey character. They do, it's Chun-Li. They have one true Pokey character, but I would like another one. I have an interesting question for you guys. Between Yun and Yang, which one is the main one? But why is it Yun? In Street Fighter 3, New Generation, they shared a character slot. Punch would give you Yang and Kick would give you Yun. They've received absolutely no favoritism in the Street Fighter 3 series. Yun is just the better one. In other games, the two other games that Yun appeared in that Yang didn't, it was Alpha 3 Upper and CVS 2, and in both of those games Yun made it over Yang purely because of tier. Yun made it because Yun has more players, and Yun has more players because Yun's a better character. What I'm trying to get at is the difference in perception between Yun and Yang is literally because Yun is better. Yang also knows Gen's default fighting style, whereas Yun is supposed to know Gen's alternate fighting style. Yang is the Mantis and Yun is the Crane. Although the actual similarities between their fighting style and Gen's is non-existent. Yes, Gen trained them. They supposedly use Gen's fighting style, half of it each, but in gameplay there's literally none of that. Oh my god, Sakura's Ponzu. I wouldn't mind Sakura either. I like Sakura. Sakura, a cute. These characters are top tier. That demon flip follow up is fucking gone. It's a shame because it's kind of cool. Akuma also has the Sean roll in this game, amusingly. It was actually Close Fierce that was 3 frames. Crouch Fierce was 4. Sakura is real good in this game, and she's also pretty neat. Ken is not terrible in the grand scope of things, but he's outclassed by Ryu and Akuma. Ken can touch up death you pretty comfortably with unblockable Vism resets. Unblockables pretty much work pretty similarly to the way they do in Street Fighter 3. You can jump over someone and cross them up with the shadow hitting on one side and you hitting on the other. Sakura's not stronger, she just has more potential. Sakura is stronger for the amount of work she's done than Ryu. The whiffed Sand Fierce into Green Hand. Oh, he missed it. That command grab actually OTGs. He just didn't get the timing. Rose and Cody. Not just them. Like half the cast. Akuma has literally... Goki is Akuma. It's just the Japanese name of the same character. I'm pretty sure Akuma's dad is Gotetsu. But that could be his granddad? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's his dad. Aw, it finished. Now what?